My neighbor Jessica, she's 29, works as a marketing coordinator downtown, showed me her monthly expenses last week and I nearly choked on my coffee. $1,800 for rent, $450 for her car payment, $380 for groceries, $180 for her phone and streaming services, $290 for insurance, $400 for everything else, $3,500 a month gone. "Where does all my money go?" she asked. I wanted to tell her the truth, but I knew she wasn't ready to hear it. Here's what I should have said. Jessica, you're not spending money. You're transferring capital to people who already have it. Look, I made this exact mistake for 7 years. I earned $82,000 a year as a project manager and had nothing to show for it. Every month I'd pay my bills like a good citizen and wonder why I felt broke. I thought the problem was my income. Wrong. The problem was, I didn't understand what capital actually is. Most people think capital means money in a bank account. That's not even close. Capital is stored demand. When people need what you own, that's capital. Jessica's landlord owns capital. Her apartment building generates $1,800 from her every month, plus rent from 23 other units. That building is capital because people need shelter. Her car dealership owns capital. They sold her a depreciating asset for $450 a month over 6 years. She gets transportation. They get $32,400. Netflix owns capital. Jessica pays $15 a month for entertainment she could live without. Multiply that by 238 million subscribers. Think about that for a second. Jessica works 40 hours a week to earn money, then immediately sends that money to capital owners. She's on the wrong side of the equation. But here's where it gets interesting. I have a friend named Marcus who figured this out at 26. He was a teacher making $38,000 a year in Phoenix. Not exactly wealthy, but Marcus did something most people never consider. Instead of upgrading his lifestyle when he got his first raise, he bought a tiny duplex for $89,000. He lived in one side and rented the other for $750 a month. His mortgage payment was $640. Do the math. Marcus was living for free while building equity. 3 years later, he bought a second duplex, then a third. By 32, Marcus owned 4 properties, generating $2,400 a month in net cash flow. He quit teaching and became a full-time capital owner. Same guy, same city, different mindset. Marcus understood something Jessica still doesn't. Every dollar you send to someone else's capital is a dollar that could have bought your own. Now, I'm not saying everyone should become a real estate investor. That's not the point. The point is the mental shift. When you buy coffee at Starbucks, you're not just buying coffee. You're transferring capital to Starbucks shareholders. That $5 could have bought you a tiny piece of Starbucks stock instead. When you lease a car, you're not just getting transportation. You're paying someone else's car payment while they build equity. That $450 could have bought you shares in the car company. When you rent an apartment, you're not just getting shelter. You're funding your landlord's retirement while you build zero equity. I know. You need coffee. You need transportation. You need shelter. But do you need to be on the losing side of every transaction? Here's what changed everything for me. I started asking one question before every purchase. Am I buying capital or am I renting it? Buying a house is buying capital. Renting an apartment is renting capital. Buying dividend stocks is buying capital. Keeping money in a checking account is renting capital to the bank. Starting a side business is buying capital. Working overtime for someone else is renting your time to their capital. The average American spends $3,500 a month on rent, car payments, subscriptions, and other people's capital. Over 30 years, that's $1,026 million transferred to capital owners. What if you flip just 20% of that? $700 a month invested in index funds for 30 years, assuming 8% returns, becomes $786,000. Not life-changing money, life-defining money. But most people never make the switch because they're trapped in renter thinking. They see monthly expenses as fixed costs instead of capital transfer decisions. They optimize for comfort instead of ownership. They think in months instead of decades. Let me be honest with you. I spent my 20s as a professional renter. I rented my apartment, leased my car, subscribed to everything, and wondered why I felt financially stuck despite earning good money. The moment this clicked for me was when I calculated how much I'd paid in rent over 5 years. $108,000. Gone forever. I could have bought a condo with that money. That's when I realized something nobody talks about. Your expenses are someone else's income stream. Your rent check funds your landlord's mortgage payment. Your car payment funds the dealer's profit margin. Your subscription fees fund tech companies' growth. You're not a customer. You're a revenue source. Now, what most people don't realize is that switching sides isn't about having more money. It's about thinking differently about the money you already have. Jessica earns $68,000 a year. She could afford to buy a small condo instead of renting. She just never considered it because she's stuck in renter mentality. Marcus earned $38,000 and figured out how to become a capital owner. The difference wasn't income, it was mindset. Capital owners think in decades. Renters think in months. Capital owners buy assets that pay them. Renters pay for access to assets they'll never own. Capital owners see expenses as capital allocation decisions. Renters see expenses as unavoidable costs. Here's the framework that changed my life. Before any major purchase, I ask 3 questions. 1. Am I buying an asset or renting access? 2. Will this pay me back over time? 3. What's the opportunity cost of this decision? A house passes all 3 tests. An apartment rental fails all 3. Dividend stocks pass all 3 tests. A car lease fails all 3. A business degree might pass all 3 tests. A vacation definitely doesn't. And that brings me to the real question. What side of capital do you want to be on? Because here's what I've learned after 15 years of making money mistakes. There are only 2 types of people in the world: capital owners and capital renters. Capital owners get paid every month by capital renters. Capital renters pay capital owners every month for access to their capital. Which one sounds like freedom to you? Now, if you're someone who earns a steady paycheck but feels like you're running in place, if you pay your bills on time but never seem to get ahead, if you've ever wondered where all your money goes, this is your wake-up call. You're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because you're sending your capital to people who already have it. The solution isn't to earn more money. It's to keep more of the money you earn and turn it into capital that pays you back. Tonight, before you go to bed, look at your biggest monthly expense. Ask yourself, am I buying capital or am I renting it? If you're renting, start planning your switch to ownership. That's the difference between building wealth and funding someone else's.